The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
This is the main event.
Bonus! Throw me a freaking bonus here.
This is your main event, Mark's bonus podcast for October. I'm your first host, lifelong wrestling fan, former radio guy, cat dad, and what I do is I drink and I know things, occasionally. I am Troy, and with me as always is the main event collector and figure hunting warrior. He is the WWE walking wrestling encyclopedia and the Takeshi Morishima to my dick to go. He is Greg. What's up, Greg?
Oh, man.
Starting right off with dick to go.
I had to get Tick to go in there. Also, it's funny. There are
Giggity.
people that only know things when they drink, which is kind of ironic. But
Yeah, right. Then you ask him, what was that stuff you said when you were drunk? I don't know. What was it that I said when I was drunk?
I got a couple beers in him to tell you all about it.
Yeah, right. I will say I've said things when I was drunk that I wouldn't have said necessarily otherwise, just because it's like, no reason to. But I've never said anything that said or done anything that I've forgotten. Like, I've never been so drunk where it's like, oh, God, what happened last night? Like, that has never once happened.
Sort of drunk. I'm not God.
Yeah, right. I've also never been dumb enough to get behind the wheel of a car while drunk, which parlays into our top story on the news.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Where are you going with this?
Well, you'll find out in the news section here. It's well, I guess I can
Oh, yeah.
hit
You got
this.
Shield still.
Yeah. Well, I guess I can hit this right off the bat. That first story we got.
Not good. Believe me, not good.
So.
You segued with drunk driving, so I believe you.
Yeah. Right. The closest I ever came was this was like middle of the night. I lived in a small town. Everything was shut down basically at this time except for the bars, and I walked home through like 2 feet of snow. That was about it. So that wasn't necessarily dangerous. It was just kind of cold. But
What's snow?
yeah, right. What? Hey, you saw ice when you were out here. I don't think it.
I saw
snowed
big
at all.
mounds of snow when we were out there. Like it had just snowed.
Right. Yeah. For anybody not from the Midwest or the East Coast, those mounds of snow will last well into May, I'd say, because it compacts into like ice and it takes forever to melt. So it's like pretty warm outside, and you're still seeing like a giant mound of snow out at Walmart from the plows. It's kind of weird, but
Wow.
yeah. Meanwhile, out there, it's just warm all year round.
It is, except for right now, it's I mean, we're not in the can or anything, but it's early August and it is cold outside.
What's cold for you?
62.
Oh, screw you. That's like perfect weather out here.
Well,
When it
yesterday was 82, it did. So
when it
hell of a jump.
When it hits the mid 40s out here, we're throwing on shorts and breaking out the grill. All right. Like that's, yeah. That's always a joke. You can tell somebody. I don't live in the Cleveland area, but I, been around there, got family around there.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, they always say you can tell somebody from Cleveland because they wear shorts like year round, walking through the snow wearing like cargo shorts. And I actually knew a guy like that. He'd wear a Browns hoodie and cargo shorts 365 days a year.
Man, this doesn't
like,
get any uglier than that, huh?
Wow. I was like, dude, why? I'm like, it's literally blizzarding outside. Why are you in shorts? He's like, I don't know. I'm used to it. Like,
It's the
how
hottest
do you get?
we've ever had.
I'm like, how do you get used to that? Like, no thanks. I'm good on all that, man. I've lived in the cold most of my life, and I still hate it. Absolutely hate it. Either way, what I
lived in
don't
the heat most of my life, and I actually hate that. So
yeah, so there you go. But what I don't hate though is our sponsor of the podcast. Do you like what I did there?
kind of.
Yeah. So I'm getting a little better at this. So anyway, like I said, the sponsor of the podcast, who I'd like to thank right now, Smaller Bros Golf. Today's episode is sponsored by Smaller Bros Golf. We all want to look good on the golf course, but it often comes at the expense of feeling good. Smaller Bros Golf has polos that look good and feel good. With their lightweight and stretchy materials that hugs your body, you will feel cool while looking just as cool. Their polos are guaranteed to make you look better, but it's up to you to golf better. On a hot summer day on the golf course, there's no polo that you would rather wear than Mahler Bros Golf signature polos. Mahler Bros Golf has a large catalog of polos with designs for those who want a loud design, and others for those that want a subtle and sleek-looking design. They also have fun t-shirts, hats, tumblers, and so much more to make your golfing experience better. Use code BELLYUP at MahlerBros.com for 15% off. Listen to me. Listen, as a guy who has worn a lot of polos throughout his life, you need Mahler Bros Golf signature polos. Their polos are a comfortable, slim fit that will make you look and feel good when you're golfing with the guys. There have been way too many times I wore some generic polo shirt out on the golf course and I felt crappy the whole day. My game was off. I just was self-conscious. Not with Mahler Bros. Don't wait to try out your new favorite golf apparel. Upgrade your golf attire with Mahler Bros. Get 15% off at MahlerBros.com with code BELLYUP. That's 15% off at MAHLER Bros.com with code BELLYUP. Turn heads on the golf course or wherever you wear Mahler Bros polos. Mahler Bros Golf. Look good, feel good, play good. And now that we're done with that, we're going to get into our first break. On the other end of this, we got to tell you that top story, it's not going to be shocking. It just sucks. Because once I start telling the story, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. But we'll get into it. For once, it's not Jeff Hardy. So there's that.
Okay, swear to God, that's where I was going.
Yeah, but no.
Because of the time we're in, it could have very well been him.
Yeah, like I said in previous podcasts, it could literally be any time for that. Now, this one isn't Jeff Hardy, but it is another former WWE talent. So, yeah, keep that in mind. But we'll get into it. We'll break the suspense right after this break.
Follow the Main Event Marks on Twitter and Instagram at @main_event_marks and on Facebook at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod.
By God, somebody's interrupting the Main Event Marks. Sit down, JR. It's just me, Kyle Sullivan, a.k.a. Shaggy Von Doom, your host of Here in Puckburg on the Hockey Podcast Network. I know, a hockey show on the Main Event Marks. Who would have thought? This is an invasion angle. Somewhere between the Nexus and when WCW tried to invade WWE, somewhere in there. But I'm over here just telling you that one half of your tag team champions over here, Greg, he told his story of his love for the game of hockey over on my show. And if you'd like to hear that story, all you have to do is search Here in Puckburg wherever you get your podcast or on YouTube. In the meantime, Shagamania's got to go run wild on some other hockey show. So, just remember, quote the Raven, nevermore, take your vitamins, say your prayers, and oh yeah!
It's spooky season.
I'm getting scaredy farts.
At our Bonfire store, pick yourself up some Main Event Marks swag, like our Breast Cancer Awareness Month logo on a t-shirt, muscle shirt, or whatever you'd like.
Have it your way.
The temperatures are also dropping, so grab yourself a sweatshirt or hoodie. They even come in kids' sizes for the little ones.
To what?
What?
Did you say utes?
Yeah, 2 utes.
Go trick-or-treating as a WWE, Walking Wrestling Encyclopedia, WCW, Watcher of Classic Wrestling, or an ECW, Encyclopedia of Classic Wrestling, and really scare the neighbors.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Head over to bonfire.com/store/Main Event Marks and get some swag to create some havoc for Halloween. That's bonfire.com/store/Main Event Marks. Happy Halloween.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Main Event Marks Podcast. Now, back to the show.
And we're back.
We're back.
Do you like your coffee like you like your podcasts? Gimmick and politics free? Well, so do we here at the Main Event Marks, and so do the guys and gals at Coffee Brand Coffee, where they ditch the gimmicks. You see, when you buy your coffee from other roasters, chances are that they've been sitting on the shelf for heaven knows how long, Don't rob yourself of freshness. At Coffee Brand Coffee, they roast to order, ensuring that you get the freshest coffee possible. And as Greg will tell you, that's what counts. Coffee Brand Coffee offers bagged coffee as well as K-Cups, and for the non-coffee people, they offer a variety of teas and cocos. Just click on the link down in the podcast description or go to coffeebrandcoffee.com and use our promo code MAINEVENT, all one word, at checkout to get 5% off your order. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com and use the promo code MAINEVENT to save 5% at checkout. Got anything to crack open today?
Hold on. Did I come across?
Yeah. What was that?
It's that other iced coffee I told you I bought. This one's Twix.
Oh, nice. You'll have to let me know how that one is.
Sweet as hell.
Yeah.
I actually might go put some water in this.
Yeah, that's the one bad thing about those the stuff you get from the Dollar Tree. Like, it does taste like what it's supposed to be. It's just really strong.
You just assume I got this from Dollar Tree, huh?
I saw it at the Dollar Tree, so I know what it's all about. I know what I'm about, son. But you know what that can crack symbolizes?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
There you go. New staple of the podcast. But yeah, I got some baby back ribs flavored potato chips from there last night, and it did taste like sweet baby back ribs, but man, it was overpowering. Afterwards, I was like, it tasted like not salty, but it was like really sweet barbecue sauce. Like, I told my wife, I was like, it tasted like I took a potato and dipped it into barbecue sauce and kept licking the barbecue sauce off of it.
Like like that candy you used to have when you were a kid, that white stick, and then you dip the powder in it.
Yeah, and like baby bottle pops.
What's that stuff called? Fun Dip.
Fun Dip, yeah. A baby bottle pop was kind of the same thing. That was a big deal when I was young. Like, I didn't get them, but they showed commercials in, like, I swear, every ad break on everything I watched had commercials for baby bottle pop. Do you remember that stupid thing?
I do not.
It was a little bottle, and the candy on top was a sucker, but it was in the shape of like a bottle nipple. And you unscrew it. Yeah, you unscrew it and dip it in the sugar crap, and it sticks to it. And you pull it out. And
that might be an Ohio thing, unless I'm forgetting completely. But I don't know.
No, this was definitely a national thing, but it might. I will say they advertised a lot on obviously kids programming like Nickelodeon and stuff. So that's where I saw it a lot. But
that was usually good about keeping me away from heavy sugar. So
yeah. I wasn't.
I grew up and got into it. Now I'm out of it.
Yeah, I'm not a candy kid, or I was not a candy kid. Like, I never grew up eating a lot of candy. My mom always said my Halloween candy, she could keep it in a fully accessible drawer, and most of it we'd have to throw out because it would go bad after a while. So it just wasn't my thing. But probably kept me away from a lot of razor blades and stuff. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That was always the thing. We gotta check your candy. There are razor blades in it. The amount of razor blades they actually found in candy was so. I'm not saying it was dumb to look, but it's like so small. Like, that was like 1 in a million.
I would be more worried about the candy being expired or something.
Yeah, right. Ah, crap! We got all this candy from last year. Give them all the candy corn. Like, get it the hell out of here.
Like, cool. Now I know what I'm giving out this year.
Yeah, right. But anyway, let's get into the news and notes of. Well, we were just talking about candy and Halloween. Tis that time of year, but let's get into the news and notes here.
That is correct.
Shut the fuck up, Dave.
Everything that guy just says bullshit.
Yes, sir.
We really need Joe Pesci to do something with Tony D'Angelo on NXT.
Yeah, right. Well, what needed to happen was he had like a little gang, a little mafia gang, and then like, wasn't there somebody there? You said like he got released and then showed up on Dark or something like that.
Yeah, the very next week.
Yeah, who the hell was it?
See, there you go. I'm just gonna add to what I'm about to say. They got some kind of big coup. Oh my god, they got 2 dimes.
Oh gosh, yeah. Isn't the new guy Stax? Isn't that his name?
Oh, but he was already there. But now he doesn't have a part. Okay. I guess technically it's just him and Tony Dean now.
Well, what they should have did for a second, like, they missed out on a perfect opportunity. They're like, "Hey, you're getting, you're becoming a made man finally." He's like, "Oh yeah," and then like he shows up at a house. And he like walks in. And he's like, What's going on? And then they just like whack him from behind.
Yeah. No, they threw him in the river.
Well, yeah, that's after they whack him.
I don't know if I told you this. They threw Pretty Deadly in the river, and then Tony D was backstage on Raw. There's like an Instagram short where they see them. They said they see Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
Like, I thought we threw him in the water. He ran off.
What the hell?
You're kind of ruining it yet keeping continuity. I don't know which way to go on that.
Yeah, right. Hey, for anybody out there that gets that reference that I made about the walking in the house, get whacked from behind, kudos to you. Oh, I know you did. You and I talked about that movie. But either way, getting
Which
into
one
this.
are we talking about? Because I have two in mind.
I'm thinking Goodfellas.
Okay, that was the one.
Yeah. I have not seen. I need to see Heat. I've never seen it. I've never seen Casino.
What the hell's wrong with you? Never seen either one of those?
Nope. I know. I need to watch them sometime. I will do that here before.
Heat is like just wow.
Yeah, and I love.
I might even flirt with the word masterpiece on that.
I'm sure it is. I mean, I love all the guys in it. So Al Pacino is awesome.
It's got Batman.
Which one?
Val Kilmer, the Batman.
Oh, well, obviously. I thought you were going with George Clooney, but whatever. Anyway, this first story is a little less cheerful here, but this is what I was talking about before the break. Reports say that Kurt Angle visited a bar called The Seashell in Moon Township, Pennsylvania.
Okay, I just watched a YouTube video from one of the guys I follow on this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say I don't know why it's called The Seashell. Pennsylvania is nowhere near the sea. Like at all. Like not even I don't know where Moon Township is in Pennsylvania, but I'm gonna assume it's not even.
You can have a beach break in January in Cleveland or whatever the hell it's called. You can do this.
Yeah, right. Well, the thing is, like, if it's well, that was in Cleveland, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least that's close to a lake. I'm not saying it's justified because it's in the middle of freaking winter or whatever, but still, it's
probably,
like
you can skate on it.
Yeah, just about. But this, like, were you even close to Lake Erie? Because there are parts of PA that are close to Lake Erie, but I'm gonna assume this was not.
Yeah, it is Erie. Hey, since we're talking about Pennsylvania, fuck the Steelers, man.
Yeah,
Sorry.
amen. Yeah, right. You don't have to apologize to me. Apologize to the. Well, actually, I don't think we have any listeners from PA, so whatever. Either way, but a woman had told police that Angle nearly hit her as he drove out of the parking lot with his Cadillac Escalade. Go figure. The same woman says that he swerved across the double yellow line twice and nearly hit a traffic sign. The woman then took down the license plate number and reported the incident to police. The license plate traced to Kurt Angle. When police tracked Angle down at his residence, they smelled liquor on his breath. Angle was then arrested and taken into custody. He was taken to a local hospital for a routine blood test, but refused to take it. Because he refused to take a blood test, he faces an automatic 1-year suspension of his driver's license. Dang, man. But
That's like an American hero, too. That's sad.
I know. Police are saying that Angle had pills in his mouth when officers were interviewing him in regards to his erratic driving. Yeah. According to a police spokesman, Angle had anti-inflammatory meds in his mouth at the time of the interview. Anti-inflammatory meds? I'm going to assume that's Oxy, right?
I don't know how any of those drugs work.
Me neither, but as far as I know, he said he... Yeah, I do.
You know,
Cedrin.
my mom says.
Good God.
It's an inside joke, folks.
Yeah, right. Man, I don't know. As far as I know, he said he was on Oxy, but I could be wrong.
Well, the guy wrestled with like a broken neck for his whole life, essentially.
Yeah, right.
He has more neck problems than Nash does knee problems. Let that sink in.
Yeah. My neck is nowhere near that bad. Obviously, I never broke it, but I'm fairly young and I'm dealing with degenerative disc disease in my neck. So that's where
I'm just a degenerate, but whatever.
Yeah. But I have not gotten into pain pills. I'm staying far away from them. I'm trying literally anything else to avoid pain pills. But it's getting to a point where it's pretty damn bad. But kind of on that same vein, though, Samoa Joe was interviewed by Mauro Ranallo of Fight Network Radio on Sirius Satellite Radio. You remember when that was a thing?
I remember radio. I remember satellite radio, yes.
Yeah. Satellite radio. Yeah. That's
Wasn't your last job, wasn't your radio job on satellite radio?
No, that was AM radio. So
I knew it was some kind of weird radio. Okay.
Yeah, AM, for people that don't know, not a lot of people listen to AM radio, but AM travels way further than FM. It's not as good a quality, but there are actually places in California where you can hear, there's a big station in Cincinnati, you can hear WLW, like, out in California, almost at the Golden Gate Bridge. Yeah. This just reminds me of when freaking Howard Stern was talking about, because he has that big Sirius satellite radio deal.
I think he was the first one to have a huge deal there.
Pretty sure.
I think he made it like the thing.
Yeah, it was like him, Opie and Anthony when they were still around, and a couple others were like the big
that
ones.
other jackass.
Cow?
Yeah, no, he's Hogan's friend or ex-friend.
Bubba the Love Sponge?
Yeah.
Yeah, him too. But, yeah, it's funny. It's like, that's cute. When Howard Stern was talking about all these podcast thing, that's so stupid. That'll never get over. It's satellite radio is where it's at. Like, okay, yeah, it's like you're cute, Howard.
These two idiots have a podcast. Anybody can have one.
Yes, literally. But either way, about Kurt Angle's DUI, Joe said, "Quote: Honestly, I don't really have a take because I just heard about it literally on your update while I was on hold. I guess I'll have to talk to Kurt first." Oh, you mean he's going to wait to get the actual facts before just blurting out a comment? That's a novel concept.
A loser. You're supposed to comment before you know anything so you can be ahead of the pack. That's what
exactly. Give an uninformed opinion and then double down when people question you on it. That's how it goes, man.
It's almost like Joe has a brain, is a good person.
I know. Crazy. Joe also spoke about the Umaga character in WWE. This is actually what I cared about his comments on. Quote, he's doing great with it. I don't think he's doing his best, but he's doing really, really well with it. That over-the-top, like, Savage character, I don't really think about culture, but it's for people to look at and say, that's something that's eye-catching. That's something that's going to make the people remember who the wrestler is. It's an easy link to the Samoan heritage and how we are a savage culture at times. But at the same time, it's just about perception. They, the WWE, feel like that's what's going to make money and it's going to make fans pay attention. End quote.
Well, in a few years, you'll probably love Solo.
Yeah, right. I feel like Solo Sikoa is like a good blend. Like, obviously, he's paying homage to, the savage Samoan characters of the past, like, Umaga and Afa and Sika. But at the same time, he's more serious. Like, I feel like he's very much like Samoa Joe. Like, if Joe could have been treated that way and came into WWE, I feel like he could, I don't know. I don't know if Vince would have been like, God, he's too fat. Or, whatever.
He's not one of those Samoans.
Yeah, right. We want to paint your face and have you going out there going, blah, 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 and thumbing people in the neck.
So
I know. That's what got me, because he's like, he came out, like, people talked he talked about it in interviews where he said WWE wanted to bring him in as Umaga, and he said no, because he didn't want to do that kind of character. And I get, like, the Nation of Violence stuff was not the Savage Samoan, whatever, but he was, like, painting his face and carrying around a gigantic, like, machete type thing, and, like, what the hell,
had
man?
The tribal dance intro.
Yeah. Dude, do you remember when they abused the crap out of that, like, the fire dancer thing for, like, I think it was 2007. Because I remember you and I watching multiple shows where he was doing it, like, one show right after the other. And it's like, well, it's not special anymore. You do it every week. Like, it's a little different than, like, when the Usos used to do the haka or whatever they call it. I apologize if I'm offending anybody. I just don't remember the name of that.
I thought it was a
dance.
war dance. But...
Yeah, it is, but it had like a name. I think it was called the haka. Or I could be wrong on the name, but
you're getting an X. I mean a tweet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, X me at anyway. But when they did it, like,
you gotta finish that. Give us a plug. What's wrong with you?
At main event _marks. You know where it's at. If you don't know where it's at, what the hell are you doing? Anyway, go follow us on social media. All of them. On X, on Instagram.
Hit the link tree.
Yeah, exactly. But when they did it, like, it was just like a dance. They dropped the lights, whatever, and then they came to the ring. Like, they didn't have, like, a whole blown out production for it. It was just like a cool little intro to their entrance. So obviously they haven't done that in years, but just saying.
They're not doing much now at all.
Oh no, yeah. As of the recording of this, we don't know where they're going to be by the time October hits. What the next chapter of that story is going to look like. But getting into it's just funny looking back at 2007 and seeing like how things have changed so much. Spike TV is going high definition in the first quarter of 2008. Pros versus Joes and TNA Impact will be shot in HD with a remainder up converted to HD. Yeah,
that's what we want. Better quality of TNA.
Hell yeah, man.
Well, actually, we did want that, but they're talking picture.
Right. But by the second quarter, Spike expects nearly all of its original programs, including UFC shows like The Ultimate Fighter and UFC Fight Night live events, to be shot in HD. Yeah, everything is pretty much shot in HD. Well, is it even HD now, or is it Ultra HD? Like, what do they call it now?
I have no idea. I didn't know it was different than HD, but
I remember when that was a big thing around this time when people were like, "Oh man, everything's going high def. Everything is going HD." I'm like, okay, like I don't know the difference, and I could kind of tell the difference at first, but now looking back at like old shows and movies, like it's a world of difference. Plus the fact that I think HD, all of it is it's filmed in like letterbox, whereas everything in the past used to be filmed like in just a square. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah. That's why the old Simpsons episodes
when we watch stuff to review for this show, depending on the year, you can totally tell the difference.
Exactly.
It fills up like a quarter of my TV.
Right. And like the old Simpsons episodes, I remember when the Fox first got bought out for Disney Plus, and people were complaining because they're like,
huge problem.
Yeah, they were like, visual jokes are literally getting cut out on some episodes of The Simpsons because they just stretched everything out, or they didn't stretch it out. Actually, they just grew the screen to fit like a rectangle, which cut off the top and bottom.
You said erect.
Good Lord. But yeah, so kids today will never know like what it was
funny.
like.
I don't know if you know, but you're gonna have the option to turn that on Disney Plus. I don't know why would you turn that on? Like it's if you go to The Simpsons and there's like a little subcategory on the top, it says watch with enhanced or whatever or old.
Huh.
Why would you leave that in? Like that was the whole thing. Like no one wants that, but yes, there's people that do. I don't know.
Weird. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of understand like they didn't want to stretch it, but I don't know their way around it because other people have done it. Like WWE, I don't actually. I don't remember off the top of my head. Does Peacock? Do they keep everything squared? Because I honestly forget.
Yeah, quite a few shows that we do on here. Like it's like that.
Okay. Yeah, that's why old footage. If anybody watches, like
I want to say on old DVDs they fix that though.
Well, I know on like if anybody watches like highlight packages when they put them together, if it's old enough footage that was filmed in square or whatever, behind the picture they stretch it out to go full screen and then they blur it just to fill out the screen.
It is so pixelated too at times and blurry.
Yeah. Yep. Here's a major story for you. I don't remember if this goes anywhere. Former WWE and TNA star, I use star loosely, Kid Cash was spotted this week at the TNA offices in Nashville. Does he come back?
What year is this?
07.
I think he might be there for EV 2.0, but I don't know.
I can't remember.
But that's still a few years off though, but
well, you know, Greg, we've been accused of not doing our research, whatever, because
I'm so sorry I'm not up on the Kid Cash history.
Well, I've got one better for you. You know what we got yelled at for not doing our research on was Horace Hogan.
Wait, really? You didn't tell me that?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that.
Please.
So we did a video as of the posting of this. This was forever ago, like back in the springtime, where you and I were talking. It's
out there, by the way. We put a lot in the can. Because we're an evergreen show, so it works.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, for the reference, he worked the indies until he didn't go back to TNA until 2010. So
I thought I remember him part of EV 2.0. I swear I remember him in that, or at least around that time. Maybe not in it, but
right.
well,
But
digging up more. But
yeah, right. Well, the Horace Hogan thing, you and I were joking about. Oh, like Hulk Hogan always got his buddies' contracts. It's like when WCW shuttered and Hogan finally popped back up in WWE. It's like, wow, how come he couldn't get Horace a sympathy contract? It's like, and you and I joked about. It's like, well, brother, it's like I'm not even good enough to get you in here. And we got yelled at because apparently he had a developmental contract for about 3 months, and we didn't know this.
well, this person that said this is the only person on earth that knew this. So
Right. Well, my response to it was, who gives a shit? He had a 3-month developmental deal. Was he ever on TV? Was he ever in the locker room? No. And he wasn't even there half a year. He was there a quarter of a year.
dude, we should be like really proud right now because our podcast, we found Horace Hogan's fan.
Right.
I didn't even know he existed. There he is.
I'm like, please tell me you looked this up just so you could argue with us. Please tell me that.
I might actually respect that a little bit more than him just knowing.
Yeah, well, actually, you see, Horace Hogan had a contract for 3 months in Deep South. We're like,
Shut the up, Dave.
Who cares? I can't say it enough. Who cares?
yeah, who
You
cares?
roll.
Yeah. It's
Well, I
like,
was right
are
about that
you
Team
freaking
casting.
serious?
I hit for that too, probably.
Yeah, right. I had
Those
to look that up.
ECW faithfuls are like the original Freakazoids.
Well, you know what I say about the Horace Hogan fan?
That's very uninteresting.
And I'm not saying this to dunk on people who just want
He's
to correct
easily
us, whatever.
pleased.
But the thing is, if you come at me and it's like, hey, like if that guy would have been like, actually, he was there for, whatever here, and he was like nice about it. But this guy's like, oh, well, actually, you see, maybe you should do your research. It's like, you know what, man? F off. Like,
You
don't need to be listening. Yeah. It's like, if this was a big deal, all right, but you and I were, number one, we were riffing. Number two, a developmental contract for 3 months means nothing. And nothing was built around it. Nobody gave a crap. Nobody knows this.
Do you know how many nobodies get 10-day contracts with the NBA every year, and no one gives a damn about whoever it is?
Yeah, right. Well, actually, so and so was on the practice squad for what? And okay, cool. That's like, well, Brock Lesnar was in the NFL because he was on the practice squad. It's like, like, oh, okay. Did he play Did he play one single down on the field?
Even in a preseason?
Right. Yeah, right. It's like he didn't even make it to preseason, bro. Like nobody cares. Oh God. But anyway,
how did that man not make it in football? That's insane to me.
My only thought is he had zero background, like none. So I don't care how big and beefy you are, you can't just walk onto the NFL.
He would have made Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor look like amateurs. I would have thought. At that size.
I feel like if he would have had, if he would have dedicated himself to it, through school or something like that, okay, maybe. But he literally just walked into the NFL, no prior experience. He CM Punk'd it, so there you go. But either way, former ECW manager Shelly Ariel Martinez has confirmed her forthcoming TNA appearance on her MySpace page.
I'll say it's TNA.
Yeah, right. She put the T and A in TNA.
Sorry, can you say that again? What'd she confirm it on?
MySpace. I'm going hardcore on the retro stuff on this show, man. You and I don't even get this nostalgic for the 90s.
Rumor has it Impact saw an old VHS of her.
Yeah, right. God. MySpace. I remember that.
They contacted her via her landline. I'm running out. Sorry.
On a rotary phone. It was one of those clear ones where you can see the innards.
Yep.
You remember those things?
I remember that for a lot of things. My cousin had an N64 like that.
Oh yeah, I forgot they did that too. N64 had that was a selling point. Oh, what color's your N64 or what? So
yeah, but it's kind of like what they do now. It was always a different skin later.
Yeah.
So they try to upsell it again. Idiots will actually go and buy it.
Yeah, right. If you have a properly working one and you go and buy a brand new one just cause, it looks cool, you're an idiot. Unless you just have money to burn, which in that case, do what you want, man. Good for you. But
hey, I will never understand the purpose of re-releasing consoles with different skins ever. Like, ever.
Because you just pointed out, morons will buy it. That's why. If you can get a sucker to pay for it, man, why not? Especially if it's
PlayStation
not
just did that
costing
with
you
the
a lot.
Spider-Man one. Ooh, new Spider-Man skin. Ooh. You can literally buy it off eBay and stick it on there.
Dude, it's the same reason they keep re-releasing old Final Fantasy games. Oh, we changed like one tiny little thing. Give us $70.
Like there's episodes of Big Bang Theory, like, oh, we got to go see one of their favorite nerd movies, like old Indiana Jones. They say it's got 20 seconds of footage that completely changed the entire movie.
Yeah, right. It made Indiana Jones not inconsequential to the entire plot. That was, dude, until Amy Farrah Fowler pointed that out in an episode of Big Bang Theory, that the plot of Raiders of the Lost Ark would have been exactly the same without Indy.
Yep.
Dude, that blew my effing mind.
And then they kept coming at her with like different things, like, oh, well, what about this? Nope, they still would have found it.
Yeah, right.
Oh man,
blew my mind. The Nazis still would have died. It just, yeah. TNA backstage announcer Letitia Klein said on her MySpace page, you ain't kidding, that she said, quote, "Creative took me off the show for a little while to create me a new role. I am still unsure what that is as of now, but they did bring me back on the show last Thursday for a little interaction with the new interviewer, Crystal, all the way live. I love being on the show."
That's something Impact never lacked.
Yeah, right. "I love being on the show, and I hope to be back full-time soon," end quote.
Whoever's hired these girls doing a good job. I approve.
Good Lord. "Hey, boss, TNA just let this one hot blonde go. I bet she'd let me oil her pecs."
I wonder if her mother's hot and I can marry her too.
Good Lord. Frickin', I will say this about TNA. Their hot blonde backstage interviewers, at least that was always a thing with Russo, but at least the ones in TNA weren't just like, oh, I'm here to be dumb and flirt with the talent like Pamela Paulshock.
Or Maria Kanellis.
Yeah, right. At least these ones actually seemed like normal human beings, you know? They just happen to be good looking. Like they didn't.
Kathy Kelly and Caleb Braxton nowadays.
Yeah, right. Dude, Caleb Braxton, when I was at Starrcade in Cincinnati years ago, and her and one of the other guys were doing some giveaway or whatever, and she was like up in the stands. She walked right by me and my friend, and both of us damn near fainted. Like, oh.
Yeah, she has that effect.
Yeah, right. But in what seems to be an annual error, Ticketmaster has a listing for a WCW World Championship Wrestling event taking place on Sunday, October 28th at the Columbus Civic Center in Columbus, Georgia.
That would be where it would be, probably, to be fair.
Yeah, right. October 20th. So this would be Halloween Havoc, I guess?
Oh, that would be Vegas.
Yeah, but October 28th. So, and it's a Sunday. So this would have to be Halloween Havoc. But, why? They said this is like an annual error. Who keeps programming this? Every year they have a listing for WCW on a Sunday night in Georgia? What? Effing weird. And apparently every year people would freak out because they're like, oh, WCW's coming back. And then Ticketmaster's like, oh, no, sorry, we f***ed up.
Can I point out the idiocy in this? Every year they'd fall for it is if they didn't realize the year before and the year before and the year before was a hoax.
Yeah.
So it's on you, dumbass, if you keep falling for that.
My thing is, why Ticketmaster hasn't fixed the glitch? Good grief.
Are they aware of it?
They had to have been, because I guess they take it down every year. So it's like, okay, so obviously this keeps happening. How and why? My favorite thing was when I think it was Spotify used to show you people if you had a playlist, you could look in this certain tab and it would show you if they have any upcoming concerts. And my favorite was I had a Beatles playlist or whatever, and it said George Harrison, 0 upcoming shows. And I'm like, you don't say.
Oh, wow.
That one tripped me out. But why? He's not touring? Oh, God. Anyway, this one's top story.
He died way before Spotify was even a thing, right?
Yeah, he died 80s?
I want to say he was
90s?
Sure I think it was in high school when it happened.
Okay, so it had to have been 90s.
I feel like I remember having a teacher who was really broken up about it.
Oh, yeah. The George Harrison death. Let's see. Quick Google search.
I'm going to say 99, 2000, something like that.
Oh, I was wrong. 2001. He died of lung cancer at 58. Yeah, wow, he made it into the new millennium. I had no idea. Who would have called it, by the way, that, I mean, like Paul, okay, whatever, but like Ringo was going to be like one of the last, the last living Beatles. And it's
actually, I knew it.
Yeah, right. Still sucks that freaking, like, John didn't just die. He got freaking killed. Like, that sucks, man. I mean,
for being the advocate for peace, by the way.
Yeah, right. Because he was like being a nice guy, coming out and like signing autographs or whatever. Like, oh, how dare you? But anyway, former WWE champion John Cena underwent surgery to repair a fully torn pectoral tendon. Oh, man. The pectoral tendon was torn when Cena's arm was pulled behind him during the hip toss spot with Ken Kennedy. Statements from WWE and Vince McMahon himself have placed Cena's return timeline at somewhere between 6 months to a year, which at best would be April 2008. That is effectively ruling out a match for Cena at WrestleMania 24 in Orlando, Florida. Yeah. Yeah, he's in that triple threat. Now in the archives, by the way, WrestleMania 24.
This is the year he chose the Royal Rumble, I believe, right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. Freaking Super Cena, man. I think this was the first time we got to see quote unquote Super Cena coming back from an injury like that?
From an injury, I believe so, yeah. Rumor had physical therapy for his torn pec was John Laurinaitis, but I can't confirm that.
Hey, John, I hear you're having issues with your pec. I'll oil it up for you. I got the best massages.
Yeah, we're very close to him being his father-in-law.
Right?
That's kind of creepy to think about.
Yeah. Hey, John, it's John again. How about I come over and oil up your pecs? Cowabunga, dude.
It could be John and Johnny.
Yeah, right. Just think about it. You can also be a dynamic dude. Cowabunga.
I don't think they ever said cowabunga in Boston.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they are close to an ocean, but I don't do.
I feel like it's a California thing. I don't know where it originated. It just feels like SoCal to me. I mean, I know it originated on Ninja Turtles, but it just feels like SoCal.
Yeah, right. Well, it is now believed that Chris Jericho has signed a new contract with WWE. The news leaked through TNA sources who said that they were negotiating with the former Undisputed Champion before they learned that Jericho decided to return to WWE.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, this was during his Save Us Y2J thing. But yeah, it's kind of, I mean, I get it. TNA has no incentive not to say anything, but it's like, so the news leaked because TNA is like, yeah, he didn't sign with us, he signed with them. So he can go F himself. We're ruining the surprise.
Well, they were in a real war with WWE there, you know.
Oh, well, yeah.
Just like AEW is right now. It's a real war.
Yep. Dude, the amount of neckbeards who got pissed off about the Triple H comment of, oh, they're a secondary company. It's like, I don't care if you like it better. That's not the question. Like, you can like it better all you want. But does that make it not a secondary company? Like, I had said this on X, Twitter, whatever the hell, afterwards. I'm like, I need hard facts disputing why it's not a secondary company. Like, just give me some actual cold hard facts here, and I might recant. Well, either way,
Uncle Dave tells me it's a legit company.
Well, actually, like, look, there's nothing wrong with being the secondary company, man. Like,
almost got to be second.
Yeah, right. It's like, even back during the Monday Night Wars, there was when
there was a point where WWE was a secondary company.
Right. Well, and Bruce Pritchard talked about it. He was like, we may have been losing the ratings war, quote unquote, to Nitro, but he was like, we were still making money. Like, we didn't care. I mean, yeah, obviously we wanted to be number one, but we were making money either way. So whatever. This one was a hell of a loss, man. The Sandman was released from WWE on September 11th, which is the worst thing.
Freaking day.
That is the worst thing that would ever happen on that date ever.
Anyway. Shut the hell up.
When they were on a tour in South Africa.
When you said hell of a loss, I thought we were talking about like a death. And I'm like, are you being sarcastic here?
No, we lost the Sandman. You asshole! Like, come on, this is serious. Anyway,
hey, I got to see him at a event.
Oh wow! Like, lucky you.
Great American Bash 07. Now in the archive.
Hell yeah. When they were on tour in South Africa, Sandman. Hold on to your ass for this one.
Sandman got where it's going.
Sandman got drunk with some of the wrestlers before a flight.
Road agent. You don't say.
Agent, yeah, I know. Road agent Ricky Steamboat was sitting in front of a wasted Sandman. Man, I'm sure someone like Ricky Steamboat.
That comment, huh?
Yeah, Ricky Steamboat seeing the Sandman is probably like, oh God, what happened? Like, this is a wrestler.
Talking one of the very best versus one of the very worst.
Right. But either way, he was sitting in front of him when Sandman put an unlit cigarette in his mouth, and Steamboat turned around to tell him, "You can't smoke on an airplane." Sandman scoffed back at Steamboat by saying that the cigarette wasn't lit and he didn't have a lighter on him. Lord.
What the hell's the point?
I know some people that, like, you still kind of taste the nicotine when you suck on it, whatever, but it's like, it's dumb, dude. You're on an airplane. Obviously, if you put a cigarette in your mouth, everybody's going to assume you're about to light it. Like, duh. It's like, why would you
this? He got fired on September 11th and he had an airplane incident.
Well, this was the catalyst for it because
there's nothing funny about it. But
right.
Like, wow.
Well, this is why. On one of the shows on the tour, due to time constraints, some wrestlers were pulled from the show, including the Sandman. Sandman thought this was Steamboat's way of getting back at him. Oh, yeah, because that was such a huge blow-up you had about the cigarette, right? He then called Joel Laurinaitis, asking for his release. A few days later, on September 11th, Johnny Ace gave it to him. Yeah, I'm sure that was a big, like, argument, too. Oh, no, we really want to keep you, Sandman. I'll do anything. How about a raise?
Hey, can I oil your kendo stick for you?
Good Lord. I'll oil your stick up for you. Either one.
Holy shit.
You could take that to mean anything you want. Oh, man. Well, this is the best news of the whole show, man. On a recent episode of Sunday Night Heat, Gene Snitsky and Charlie Haas made their returns to the ring. Snitsky was quietly suspended in late August for failing a drug test. Haas was suspended for purchasing drugs over the internet, which is a violation of the WWE wellness policy.
And, the law. That little thing.
Well, it depends what the drugs were. Like, they say drugs.
I'm going to assume it wasn't an aspirin.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been illegal. Like, you can legally buy steroids online. Like, steroids are not illegal, as far as I know. I mean, certain kinds are, I think. But for the most part, you can legally buy steroids. I don't know if that's what he was buying. It just says drugs. I mean, you can get a lot of drugs, like legal drugs online. But I don't know what the WWE wellness policy was.
We're just going to be quiet now because you're sitting here talking about this as if you have an inside knowledge of it. So let's move on.
Like I said, all of this is legal, and you can get legal pharmaceuticals online. So I mean, it's like if it's over the counter type stuff, it can be ordered. It's not like some dark web stuff. So like here, it didn't say he broke the law. It just said he violated their policy.
The law, breaking the law.
Yeah, and Snitsky failing a drug test. That pockmarked back tells me otherwise. All right.
Is this when he comes back completely bald and shaved?
Maybe. By the way, as far as
kind of does a punk rock thing where he has like that look. He has like a wallet and the chain connected to the wallet. I don't know why I thought of that, but
as far as
I think this is the one.
As far as saying Snitsky's, doing
and his teeth are yellow, by the way, but
yeah, that was awesome. But as far as saying Snitsky's doing anything, questionable, by the way,
Allegedly.
I just want to put that out there. Although he did fail a drug test, so I'm just saying. Speaking of suspended WWE,
he likes what you do to babies.
Good God. But speaking of suspended WWE talent,
stay tuned to the podcast for Star Series 04. There is a promo in there with him, and you haven't seen nothing yet. It's the greatest thing in the history of our podcast.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But speaking of suspended WWE talent, Chavo Guerrero is expected to return to the company in November. Oh, well, thank God. The company's saved.
By the time this airs, I think his Major Bendy would have went on sale or done or whatever. I don't know. There was a you I told he comes with Pepe. I need that damn figure.
Good God. Anyway, yeah, so I will say I have a Jax figure of Chavo. That's the only figure of Chavo I have because I never cared enough to hunt down or buy another one. It just, yeah.
Yeah, that plays.
Do you have any figures of Chavo?
Okay, to my knowledge, they've never made a Mattel of him. And if they did, I don't have it. But
yeah, I don't know if...
I only collect
Mattel,
so...
Right. I know they had a handful of... they had a handful of Jax figures. The one I got, it's weird. They clearly like went with a WCW look. So I think it was like when they used a face scan for when he first came to WWE because he's only got the little beard, not a goatee, and he's got the same kind of hair. So I don't know.
Him with his baby face, and I mean that literally.
Yeah, I believe so. I'd have to send you a picture of it, but yeah, he's he does not look like WWE Chavo, or like maybe very early on WWE Chavo.
I feel like in WCW he never aged and always looked like a baby, and in WWE just huge spurt.
Yep, basically. But it appears as if Paul Burchill and Dave Taylor are officially a tag team, as they are now working with matching ring gear. This might be a sign that WWE plans to bring them up to the main roster very shortly.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah. Does it?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it does.
Oh, okay. Well.
And I think Rigo joins the group, right?
I think. I don't know the timeline of Paul Burchill, to be honest with you. Getting out of WWE a little bit here, Hulk Hogan will flex his hosting muscles for NBC's latest mid-season primetime offering, the return of the competition series American Gladiators. This show marks the first time Hogan has hosted a competition series. I didn't watch, so I have no idea. Did you watch this?
I feel like I did. I just don't remember.
Yeah. I don't remember Hulk Hogan hosting this. By the way, in this story, I cut out a few things from here. I like how they say Hulk Hogan of Hogan Knows Best. Like, yeah, that's what everybody remembers Hulk Hogan for. Like, I realized, I think that show was on the air here, or maybe it just finished. Maybe it, just wrapped up or whatever. But really? Yeah, because when I think of Hulk Hogan, first thing that pops in my head, Hogan Knows Best. Gosh. Commercials in the local Houston, Texas market for King Booker's PWA promotion feature Booker in the ads, referring to himself as Booker T, not his WWE name of King Booker. There is also no mention of him being a WWE superstar. He's still there in 08, right?
Well, they digging for there. I don't know. This might be when he went to Impact.
Yeah, I honestly can't remember when the Main Event Mafia was.
Well, he was there way before the Main Event Mafia. Don't forget. Like a lot of time there before it.
Oh, that's right. He popped up at the end of 07, right? I remember.
Yeah, at Turning Point, right? As a mystery partner. I believe that's in our archives.
Yeah, it is. That's why I had to remind myself. Because I remember watching that. Yep. Okay, so I think he's gone right here, and then he'll pop up and. Yeah, right. Only for a short time, and then he'll pop back up, and whatever. He's in TNA for.
He's taking a break from wrestling to go play the kids.
He literally said it was a paid vacation.
There you go.
Kind of effed up, but whatever. I mean, hey, make your bag, man.
Well, he already made a lot of money over the years, so it's not like he's burning any bridges.
Yeah, right. Tell me you didn't just say that. Anyway,
he's going to open another wrestling school and make Roxanne Perez.
Yeah, right. He had a few stars come out of there, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head who all came out of there, but yeah, from what I hear, he's got a damn good school down in Houston. So,
booked 6 world titles, 2 Hall of Fame rings. Yeah, I would assume he's doing some good work with the young kids.
Yeah, right. Former WWE star Scott Hall appeared at an indie show in Little Rock, Arkansas. Hall told fans that he would be working for AAA in Mexico soon. Sean Waltman, a close friend to Hall, has been working in AAA regularly in recent months with his girlfriend Alicia Ryan Shamrock Webb.
Right.
So
I forgot that was a thing.
Him with Ryan Shamrock or him in AAA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Both, really, but the first one.
Yeah, right. I don't believe Hall ever goes there. I really don't think so. I could be wrong, but I'm sure somebody will correct me. Well, actually, but
He
either
was there,
way.
and he had a really good match with Viano Shevin.
Good God. Viano said, like, what the F?
I don't know if there's 6 or 5 or 4. I guess there's a 4, right? No, yeah, I think he was in WCW. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll hear about it.
there were a crap ton of them. I don't know. But either way, last story I got here, and just because everybody seems to hate this guy, I've got to play this this to kick us off into the story.
What the f*** is this piece of shit?
That is one big pile of shit.
Bro.
Yeah, bro. No, this is somebody you'd be like, huh? But reality TV quote unquote star and former TNA wrestling personality Johnny Fairplay.
I knew it. The moment you said both of those, I knew it.
Yep. But he's known to be a real jackass. I know.
No.
Yeah, I was shocked too.
Well, there's a surprise of the century.
I know. Like I said, I was shocked. I, for one, am shocked. Anyway, at the Fox Reality Show Awards in Los Angeles, real thing, Fairplay wound up in the hospital minus 3 teeth.
Who did he piss off?
Yeah, well,
I want to know who he started liking. Tell me who he pissed off.
Well, during a segment of the awards show when Johnny Fairplay was a guest presenter, he was joined on the stage by former child star and radio and television personality Danny Bonaducci.
I already see where this is going.
Fairplay, this
He ain't
honestly,
no better than Fairplay.
this honestly did not end the way I thought it was going to end, but yeah. Anyway, so Fairplay asked the crowd why they were booing, and Bonaducci walked up to tell him that they're booing because they hate Fairplay, and then Fairplay jumped on Bonaducci, humping him. Bonaducci flipped him off, and Fairplay landed on his face, which I suppose sets us up. I didn't say in the face, but close enough. So it was
In the face! In the face!
Anytime you use, I don't give a damn.
Exactly. Fairplay broke 3 teeth and will require 3 root canals to repair the damage. Yikes.
Wait a minute. He broke them, what, falling on the floor or what?
He fell on his face. Because, like, he jumped on Bonaducci's back, like in a choking manner.
Hey, you told me Bonaducci punched him. I had no problem believing that. But
Yeah.
like I said, he's an ass too, so.
Yep. But, yeah, that's some bad, that's a bad way to land, man. You try to hump the dude, which is just like, why? Like, funny. It's not funny.
Especially with a guy with like a known issue of anger issues.
Yeah, right. And he's boxed a few times. He actually has like some boxing training and stuff like that. So didn't he get arrested?
Even if it's bad, Fairplay, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking Bonaducci would take his small little ass, but
right.
I guess that was redundant. But
well, didn't Bonaducci get in trouble for like punching a transgender in the face or something like that? I think he got in he got busted.
I remember a celebrity getting that, but I don't remember if it was him.
I know Eddie Murphy got. I don't know if he hit one or I don't know, something like that. But either way,
which is kind of ironic because he's played one a couple of times in his movies.
Good Lord,
what, he doesn't hit some. He has.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that wraps it up for. That is one big pile of shit, and that wraps up our news. You ready to get into the event at hand here?
Yeah, this is actually very fun. So I am.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. On the other end of this, it's Ring of Honor, everybody.
Follow the Main Event Marks on Twitter and Instagram at @main-event_marks and on Facebook at facebook.com/Main Event Marks Pod.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan. Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah.
Forgot
the
that.
same mother and father.
Your room was...
We shared the room.
Shared a room.
We shared the room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The
Brocast.
Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah. Well,
what do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Brocast. That's BROKAST. I nearly stuffed up the ending.
No, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Brocast Podcast.
Remember, we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Salute, mate.
Take it easy.
The Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Main Event Marks Podcast. Now, back to the show.
And we're back.
We're back!
It's ROH Undeniable, and took place October 6, 2007 at the Inman Sports Club in Edison, New Jersey. By the way, there's a match where one of the commentators says they're in Dayton. It's like,
yeah, Dayton.
What? I'm like, did they all just like blend together for you? You're like, yeah, we're in Dayton. I mean, New Jersey. I mean, wherever. Like that one, I was like, I had to like think about it for a second. I'm like, wait, because he said something about, the crowd here in Dayton. I was like, what?
Well, I would assume a place like Dayton and Jersey go hand in hand.
Yeah, you're not totally wrong there. That is correct.
You know what I've been doing? We've been forgetting this on the past one, so I got it all queued up here. What's the date on this?
October 6, 2007.
All right, number one movie.
Oh, I can't even hazard a guess.
Oh, The Game Plan.
Oh,
I actually know.
Rock. Yeah.
And then the number one song.
Probably one you don't know.
Sorry, what's the date again?
October 6, 2007.
All right, and then October 6th, music. It's probably something either I don't know or something crappy. Crank That Soulja Boy.
Oh, man. Boy. Good God. Yes.
That's the rapper that keeps getting in trouble for putting out illegal video game systems, right?
Allegedly. Yeah, I think, yeah. I'm pretty sure. Oh, man.
The idiot thought you could sell a video game system with like a bunch of ROMs on it, and you wouldn't get in trouble.
Yeah. Dude's a moron. But anyway.
Soulja Boy. You could knock me over with a feather telling me he's a moron.
Yeah, right. But we opened the show in the ring with Dave Prazak and Lenny Leonard, ECW style. The only difference is one of these guys isn't going to get beat up and replaced with a heel. A heel!
Motherfucker!
That might have been preferable, though, because I never liked either one of these guys. I hate old school Ring of Honor commentary.
I love Ian Riccaboni. I'll say that.
Yeah, he's great. Kevin Kelly was great. And if you don't like Kevin Kelly, please die.
Oh, okay. I got news for you. I'm going to die.
You don't like Kevin Kelly's commentary?
I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
Oh, man. I always like him, especially on New Japan
I like
shows.
Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman. That's like probably the best duo in all of wrestling. But
yeah, they're pretty good. I definitely like them. But either way, Claudio Castagnoli is walking around behind them. We see quick shots of the world title match participants in their locker rooms. And now Sweet and Sour Inc., which is Larry Sweeney, Sarah Del Rey, Bobby Dempsey, and Chris Hero, come out.
Sweet and Sour Inc.
Yeah.
This sounds like something Russo would come up with, like a team of Asian people.
Yeah, good God.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, you might not be too incorrect with that one, but
bro,
either way.
My favorite Chinese food, bro. We're gonna name after that.
Wow. But anyway, I seriously thought that Sweeney was a young Kenny Omega for a minute.
Yep, I definitely got that.
Sweeney says that Castagnoli...
But he didn't have a phone sex voice.
Yeah, right. Sweeney says that...
I can't ever unhear it.
Yeah. Sweeney says that Castagnoli never signed a contract to face Hero tonight, so the match is off. We now get the opening hype video for the show to Doomsday Clock by the Smashing Pumpkins, Greg's favorite band.
Who suck?
Wow. I direct all your hate to @AthleticFan33, not me. All right. I like the Smashing Pumpkins. I will say, I saw this video. I'm like, oh man, somebody's trying to get hate. It said how Nirvana would sound if they weren't mid, and it was a video. And it was a video of them performing. Nirvana was performing.
I'll say this: they had a few great hits, but man, people just overhype the hell out of Nirvana. They always have.
I went through a phase where I went through a phase where I really liked Nirvana, but I still like them. I'm just not like, oh my god. But it was a video of Nirvana performing, and they dubbed it over with Nickelback.
That seems to be the famous thing.
Yeah, like, oh my god, like people, like they're just wanting to get people pissed. But anyway, the Age of the Fall, which
I'll call
is Jimmy
my buddy AJ Kirsch, and he'll defend him.
Yeah, but the Age of the Fall, which is Jimmy Jacobs, Tyler Black, who would never go on to do anything, and yeah, who cares about this guy? The Necro Butcher, who is the true star.
I think
of this
you
group,
spoke too quick on that. Okay.
and Lacey. Are in the ring, and Jacobs cuts a promo about how they strung up the Briscoes and made them bleed at the last pay-per-view. So what they did is they made the Briscoes... Yeah. They made the Briscoe brothers bleed, and they tied their feet up and strung them up by their feet. And then Jimmy Jacobs stood under them and let the blood drip on him. It was gross.
This sounds like some 2023 John Moxley AEW crap.
Yeah, well, this was like...
I could see him doing that.
Well, this was super emo, gothic, whatever. Like, that was the whole thing of the group. It was kind of cool, but gross. Yeah. But,
wait. CrossFit Jesus was emo gothic?
Yeah, right. The camera occasionally switches to photo negative and then splices in clips of Age of the Fall stringing up the Briscoes. They're eventually cut off by the Vulture Squad, who's Julius Smokes, Jigsaw, Ruckus, and Jack Evans. That's an eclectic group if I ever saw one.
Yeah,
Julius,
the Fall's not.
Yeah. Julius keeps making some weird noises, and then they all charge the ring for a big brawl. And I'm not kidding when I say he's making weird noises. He just comes out like... I can't even describe it. It was like, what the frick are you doing, man? I don't know. But anyway, this first match,
it's like,
it is...
like the old Kamala promos, remember? Like the taped ones, not in the ring, but like... Making those...
Good God. But this is Age of the Fall, Jimmy Jacobs and Tyler Black. Thank God we're not getting a Necro Butcher match. With Lacey in their corner.
Trust me.
Yeah. They're taking on the Vulture Squad of Ruckus and Jack Evans with Julius Smokes in their corner. This goes about 5.5 minutes. This is a spot fest. Tyler Black hits a burning hammer on Evans, followed by Jacobs locking him in a guillotine choke for the submission victory. I gave it a 1.5. What say you?
Yeah, I gave it a buck.
It was okay. It was just like a quick, high-flying spot fest to get the crowd fired up.
I feel like the next match could have been an opener, and this one could have been a filler. But
yeah, right. But backstage, Ring of Honor World Champion Takeshi Morishima is sitting with Dick to Go, or Dick Togo, however you want to say it.
Dick to Go, whatever, is a thing in 2007 still. I was, as of this watching, that days old, knowing that.
Dude, he's still mentioned in New Japan, like, today.
I feel like Excalibur mentioning them when they were building up something for Forbidden Door. I'm pretty sure he said the name Dick to Go, or Dick Togo.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, he's like, I think he's a trainer or something over there. So, yeah, he's still
that might have been what it was. Trained by the legendary Dick Togo. I know he's a little liberal with that word, but I believe
the legendary. Good God.
I feel like that's what he said. Did he train Tanahashi by any chance?
Most likely.
Because I feel like that's who he said it for.
I don't know about that one. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Trained by
But
the
either way,
dictator. That's a real sentence, folks.
yeah. I'm thinking he's Japan's answer to Tom Pritchard over here. Like, Tom Pritchard was never like a big name over here or anything, but
Are you saying
he's like the best
Bobby's
trainer.
a big name?
Oh,
you son
yeah.
of a bitch.
No, oh, yeah. I guess
okay, hold on. If he's Dr. Tom, then that means Daniel Garcia is the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey.
Exactly. Yeah, how dare I say that, by the way?
Me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But either way, they try to get some comments from Morishima, but he starts yelling in Japanese and throwing stuff as Togo tells the cameraman that Takeshi doesn't want to talk.
Every American Japanese stereotype on the way down that tree, by the way.
Dude, Dick Togo spoke perfect English, by the way. Just want to point that out.
Yep.
I was like, damn, okay. But Sweet and Sour Inc. is in the ring again.
Real name.
And Daisy Hayes is in the corner. Larry Sweeney says that this will be the first women's match in ROH history. False. And that Sarah Del Rey is the greatest women's wrestler on the planet.
That may be correct at the time.
Actually, I watched, maybe he meant on pay-per-view. That had to have been what he meant, because I watched with, giving a shout out to Kyle with Apron Bump, I watched Ring of Honor shows from 2003 with him, and Alexis Laurie, a.k.a. Mickey James, took on Sumi Sakai. So that happened in Ring of Honor in 03. But I'm gonna say this had to have meant pay-per-view. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
And we can't call them Women of Honor, right? Because was that a no-no?
At the time that wasn't a thing, but I don't know.
I don't know why. That was stupid. Women of Honor. What's wrong with that?
Wait, did somebody complain about that?
Yeah, that's why they stopped calling him that. Yeah.
I thought it was just the Women of Honor title.
They changed it to just Ring of Honor Women's title.
Why? Like, what was the bitch
I
about that?
I don't know. It's 2023. You tell me.
Good God, that's
we'll cut
fantastic. This. Yeah. But Sarah
Del
Rey,
that was a real thing though. They're trying to cancel. Oh, it's derogatory or something like that. I don't know. You know, people
are literally calling them women and of honor. Like, was they mad because they want them to not be honorable?
I guess so.
That's weird. But either way, Sarah Del Rey with Sweet and Sour Inc. in her corner takes on Daisy Hayes in just under 4 minutes. So nothing really happens until.
Yeah, like I said, this would have been a little better opener, but a little better.
But Claudio Castagnoli comes out partway through this one and starts taking out Sweet and Sour Inc. until Chris Hero hits him with the Hero's Welcome. In the ring, Daisy Hayes rolls through with a rolls through with a sunset flip flip pin to Del Rey to win. I gave it Uno star. I assume you did too.
Yeah, I did.
Not good.
It's like you knew.
Yeah, right. I had to be a mind reader for that one. But
definitely
Sweet and Sour,
not good. Not good.
Yeah, or
not good. Believe me, not good.
Do you realize we're going to be in the building where he got the Stone Cold Stunner?
Hell yeah. Good grief. But Sweet and Sour Inc. are upset in the ring when the lights drop and the final countdown starts playing. Bryan Danielson charges out and everyone bails from the ring. Danielson says Larry Sweeney only caring about money is what's wrong with professional sports. He demands Chris Hero get in the ring and prove that he's the greatest professional athlete in the world. And now,
does Larry Sweeney sound like the most crooked used car salesman in history?
Which is probably why he looks the way he does. He looks like he should be smacking a car and being like, "Oh, you can fit so many kids in this thing."
Wow. Holy crap!
Yeah, you got so much room in the trunk here. Anyway.
That trunk. You fit 3 bodies in there.
Exactly. But this is Chris Hero with Sweet and Sour Inc. in their corner. Yes, 3rd match with these people. Taking on...
you act like that's an overabundance or something.
Yeah, right. Taking on Bryan Danielson. Yeah, screw me. But this goes for 11 minutes and 8 seconds. Commentary tells us that Claudio Castagnoli was taken to the hospital for the attack that honestly didn't look all that bad. In the end, Danielson holds Hero's arms and repeatedly stomps in his face until the referee declares him the winner via knockout. I gave this dose and a half. What say you?
I gave it 2. Best match we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean,
that's
not
saying
amazing,
a lot,
but right. Well, strap in for this next one here. Adam Pearce is in the ring.
By the way, did you notice the crowd is like eating all of this up?
Oh yeah, man, they were hot and heavy for this.
They clearly just accepted anything in this company.
This picked up where ECW left off, and the thing is, they didn't do the hardcore stuff like ECW did. They just relied on wrestling for the most part.
Well, they had the Necro Butcher.
Well, there's that. But they that crowd just made the shift, man. Like I don't know if it was the exact same crowd. I'll say that, but they did pick up like some of the quote unquote famous ECW fans you would see in the crowd. They'd be at the early Ring of Honor shows.
Yeah, especially Straw Hat guy.
Yeah, I saw him there a few times. I'm like, wow. So they literally were just like, wow, this is our new promotion.
You also got to factor in like regional where it always was: Chicago, New York, Baltimore, Boston, Jersey. You know,
the style was very different, obviously, between Ring of Honor and ECW. But they did bring in initially they brought in a few of the ECW talents, I use talent loosely, you know what I mean, and they did have a lot of matches that it's like, oh my god, why are these guys on any wrestling card anywhere in the world? Like, really?
Just because.
Yeah. But either way, Adam Pearce is in the ring and he invites Kevin Steen out. Pearce reminds everyone that he took out Delirious for being dead weight, and now Steen needs to do the same to El Generico.
Taking out Delirious, man, that's a big one on your resume.
Yeah, right. You mean the guy that looks like a more out of shape Austin Aries in a mask? Got it. Yeah. But he says it. Say what?
He eats meat.
Oh, well, yeah.
And that's not an innuendo, by the way.
Good grief. But he says that Steen needs to do the same to El Generico after Generico cost Steen a shot at the Ring of Honor World title. The Hangman 3, which is BJ Whitmer, Brent Albright, and Shane Hagedorn, end up dragging a beaten-up El Generico to the ring and hold him while Pearce tells Steen to take him out and join them. Steen thinks about it and then starts beating up the Hangman 3 before they get the better of him. Delirious now makes his comeback to help Kevin Steen, and he cleans house. Delirious says something weird. Like, when I say he says something weird, his promos were literally like he's Donnie from Wild Thornberries.
If you ever seen the episode of South Park when they think global warming's a thing that's taking them over, it was that.
Yeah, right. Good God. But Steen
global
says
warming's getting me.
Oh God, yeah, that's right. The Steen says that the only person who can beat up on El Generico is himself before he declares this now a 6-man tag. This match is a 6-man tag. It is the Hangman 3, BJ Whitmer, Adam Scrap Daddy Pearce, and Brent Albright.
These days.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, that name's going to come in handy in prison, I guess. But anyway. I hope you like the taste of prison food. Anyway, I'm going to cut it off there. But they're taking on the team of Kevin Steen, El Generico, and Delirious. It's a hell of a team, man.
I was Delirious watching this.
It goes about 11 minutes. Near the end, Delirious loses his mind and starts biting at the ear of Adam Pearce.
Delirious loses his mind. That's a real sentence.
Right. This allows Albright to sneak up behind him and hit a half Nelson suplex for the pinfall win. I give it deuce and a half. What say you?
Same.
Yeah, it was all right. It just, you want to talk about ECW style, man. A thrown together 6-man tag in the middle of a pay-per-view. I know there's a storyline behind this, but good God.
Let's just hurry up and get to the next match. I'll be happy to talk about that one.
Yeah. Well, we now go to the locker room with Nigel McGuinness. And Nigel says that being the Ring of Honor champion is about growing up, wanting to be a professional wrestler for a living, and being the best in the world. He then says that He's going to headbutt Morishima, and they can bleed and lariat him and knock him out. And up next, it is Roderick Strong taking on Austin Aries. This one goes
probably the best
minutes.
match of the entire card.
It's definitely damn good. In the end, Austin Aries suplexes Roderick Strong outside of the ring through a table, hits a 450 splash where he actually comes down knees first on Roderick, and he pins.
That was sick, man.
Yeah, I think he mostly landed like kind of where he was like rolling forward with his feet, so he didn't completely crush his ribs. It also helps that he's like a buck.
We should have had a backbreaker counter on this, numbered him.
Yeah, right. But he hits he hit the 450 and then he pins Strong to win. I gave it 3.5 stars. What say you?
I gave it 4.
This was a damn good match. I think this is where, from this moment on, was where all the matches were great for the rest of the card. And I know it's deep in the card, but still, it's a really good match.
I've only got 2 matches up on my notes. Did I miss something?
Yeah, well, there was that match, and then we got 2 more matches.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, right.
Okay, you said the rest of the card, but well, that sounds like a lot to me. I only got 2 on here.
Yeah, no, like the last 3 matches of this card are definitely must see if anybody's looking.
They really tested your mental, make you stay around, huh?
Yeah, right. The first part of this card was just like crap. Yes. Yeah, but this was like by this point we actually had like half of the show to go still. So because the last 3 matches are pretty long, and it's worth it. It's really good. So if you want to go about halfway through the show and start watching, it's worth it. But after that, we go right into the next match. It's the Briscoe brothers, Jay and Mark Briscoe, defending the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles against the No Remorse Corps of Rocky Romero and Davey Richards.
I was this days old when I learned that this was an actual team.
Yeah, I had heard about him, but I'd never actually seen them in action. So now this was pre-American Briscoes, right? Yes, of course. Okay. Duh. But yeah, I'm not a big Rocky Romero fan. I don't hate him. I don't like cringe when he comes out. But
he's the one that's in Roppongi Vice, right?
Yes.
So he literally saves that horrible team when he shows up on AEW all the time, whenever he does. So
yeah,
I have respect for him for that. Oh, good. It's someone that's actually good. He's not. What's that idiot's name? Not Trent. The other idiot.
Chucky T.
Yeah. Chuckle.
Good Lord. I love it.
Yeah, he's terrible, man.
Yeah, I've always hated him.
Every time I see them, I'm like, can we just keep Trent and Mass the whole time, please, for the love of God?
Right. Well, that was the thing with
an idiot.
Oh, for sure. Well, Pockets has personality. I mean, it's goofy. It's goofy. Obviously, it's a dumb indie style gimmick, but it's cool. It gets over.
I get happier to see Sue in her van than I do Chuck Taylor.
Good Lord.
I am not joking.
Mr. Muffin Top himself, Chuck Taylor. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing. Like, Roppongi Vice, like I said, I don't hate Rocky Romero at all. All right, I'm not like anti-Rocky Romero. I just think he's kind of goofy. The thing is, he was like, out of the 2 guys, I liked Trent. I really didn't care about Rocky. But now Trent got himself another partner who I care even less about than Rocky.
It's kind of funny. It's like, man, that Trent's that good, huh? No matter what team he's in, he's the best one.
Yeah, right. Even back to the Dude Busters in the WWE.
Yeah, right. He was with Tyler Rex, right?
No, it was crap. Can't think of his name. He went by Chris Cage in the Indies.
Crap?
Yes.
Yeah, your words, not mine. It was crap.
The guy had a good look to him. Let's see, Trent Beretta.
Tyler was with Kurt Hawkins, right? Or Brian was it Kurt Hawkins at the time? Yeah, right.
He was with Kalen Croft.
The hell is Kalen Croft?
He didn't do anything after WWE, so
clearly,
no use looking him up. He was Chris. He went by the name Chris Cage on the Indies, and that was about it.
Chris Cage, huh? Wow, original.
Yep. He was Kalen Croft, Chris Banks, Chris Cage.
I'm looking at his picture now. I remember him now. Okay.
Yeah. Him and Trent looked similar. Like they could have pulled off like a brother gimmick. But yeah, he literally did Nothing. So he left WWE and he was in OVW for a little bit, and I think that was about it. FCW. Oh wait, no, that was all pre-WWE. Wow, so he just all right.
So he went peaked and then went home, huh?
Apparently, he made a short return to WWE for a little bit on ECW. I don't remember that. Maybe
that doesn't count.
The Dude Busters then turned face and they entered into a feud with the Gate Crashers, Kurt Hawkins and Vance Archer. Yeah, okay.
And they just threw a bunch of crap at the wall and saw was stuck, huh?
November 19th, 2010, he was released and then he retired. Okay, so there you go. Hey, he's from Youngstown. How about that?
Yeah, Youngstown.
There's a little side leg for you there. But this match goes a little over 18 minutes. It's pretty hard hitting, I'll say. In the end, the Briscoes hit a springboard doomsday device on Richards for the win.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Uncle Dave actually did rate this one. He gave it 4.25 stars. I give it 3.5.
He woke up at this point. Okay.
Yeah, right. I gave it 3.5. What say you?
I gave it 3.
This was a really great
I loved it,
tag
but
match.
There's something missing.
Yeah, that's why I gave it 3.5. It was really damn good. I mean, I'll say I didn't really care about No Remorse Core, so maybe that's what was missing a little bit. I don't know if I've ever given a Briscoes match anything short of 3 stars. So I'll say that.
Suppose you gotta think about who they're facing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if it's just some like throwaway, jobber squash, I mean, that's a little different. But if you're talking like
remember, there was a time where they were the throwaway jobber squash.
Yeah, right. Well, hey, Jay Briscoe, like that one. What was the show we watched where he won the world title? We watched it recently.
Supercard of Honor. I don't know the number, but I was there. But I don't know the number.
Now in the archives, it's the only Supercard of Honor we did. But he, you remember the live? Well, you remember the lead up to that was like they kept showing a video package of he had like a bazillion world title shots dating back to like when he was wearing the singlet. So he was over, man. People loved them some Jay Briscoe. I mean, I like Mark.
Uriah Faber in a way. It's like so over. Everyone loved him, but just couldn't win the title.
Yep, and he finally did. And didn't he get his own custom title with his logo on it?
I feel like that sounds right.
Yeah, I think he did. And then he got like a camouflage strap for it. That was pretty awesome.
Of course he did.
But after the match,
had the Confederate flag on there if he was allowed to.
Yeah. But after the match, during the Briscoe Brothers celebration, clips keep getting spliced in of the Briscoes being strung up by the age of the fall. Then we see Jimmy Jacobs saying, "This is just the beginning." Yeah, just the beginning for them. You're not really going anywhere.
More Jimmy Jacobs.
Dude, I remember the first time I saw Jimmy Jacobs, I was like, "Who gives a shit?" And then I saw Tyler Black with him, and I'm like, "He looks cool. He looks like he could be something." And then like I watched more of his stuff.
You missed that one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he never did anything ever. But yeah, I always thought Tyler Black was cool and he was talented, and he was in Wrestling Society X, which is hilarious. And
you got to pay your dues somewhere, dude.
Yep, you damn right. Yeah, you had to follow Jimmy Jacobs around for years. Ugh.
I guess unless you're Roman Reigns.
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know. Even he started out as Leaki. And then, like, kind of floundered until he.
But in NXT, though, right?
That was FCW, and then when he went to NXT, he was actually Roman Reigns, and he was a heel. But that didn't last long, and then he joined the Shield, and all all downhill from there. Again, never did anything, never went anywhere.
Never drew a dime. Roll it up.
Yeah. Never drew a dime.
Mr. Dime Drawer himself. Anyway,
right.
Well, that takes us to our next break. After this, we're getting into the main event. I've been looking forward to this, so we'll be right back with a Ring of Honor World Title main event.
Follow the Main Event Marks on Twitter and Instagram at @main_event_marks and on Facebook at facebook.com/main event marks pod.
What's up, everybody? I am the hardest part of the ring, the host of the Apron Bump podcast. Ugh, another wrestling podcast. How many times can I listen to fans tell me who needs a push, who doesn't need a push, who brings Vince's coffee these days? Enough! The Apron Bump is about the journey. It's about nostalgia. It's about discovering new forms of wrestling to really tickle your pickle as a wrestling fan. The podcast brings you reviews of wrestling events all over the world, whether it's WWF, WWE, WCW, ECW. We even cover the golden eras of Ring of Honor, Progress, TNA, and more promotions in the future as well. New episodes every Wednesday. Bump Day, yeah? Go to apronbump.com or go to your favorite podcast platform or YouTube and subscribe today for the most diverse, fan-friendly wrestling podcast in the world. I'm Hard.
Main event marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube at youtube.com/C/main event marks podcast. Now, back to the show.
And we're back. Main event time here. It's Takeshi Morishima defending the ROH World Heavyweight title against Nigel McGuinness in just over 14 minutes. Morishima keeps going for
Spoiler, this was a classic.
Hell yeah. Morishima keeps going for the backdrop driver throughout the match, and McGuinness keeps getting out of it. I love that. He kept doing like different counters to get out of it. He was like legit scared of getting hit with it. At the same time, Nigel kept going for trying to knock Morishima out with a lariat. When Takeshi finally hit the backdrop driver, Nigel kicked out at 2. When he hit it again, Nigel popped up and hit a jawbreaker lariat for a near fall. Later on, Nigel hit another one. Morishima kicked out. Nigel nails a third one and wins. Uncle Dave gave this 3 3/4 stars. I give it 3.5 again. What say you?
I gave it 4. I want to vote both of you.
I love
no
both these guys.
Was, but this was awesome.
Yeah. I saw a couple of his matches back during this time because this was back in like the Wild West days of YouTube where anything goes, and they would flat out share full matches and full shows and whatever. So I would watch Takeshi Morishima sometime, and he was damn good.
There's more money to be made off of it.
yeah, right. And I think he just went to Japan, back to Japan after this, and I don't remember him really doing anything after this. This was kind of like it. I could be wrong. I don't know what he did in Japan, but as far as his stint in America, this was about it. Nigel went on to have an historic run with amazing matches. He did some good crap, pal.
And now he's commentating the best AEW show they got.
Yeah, right. I love me some Nigel McGuinness, man. I've always been a huge fan of his. I even liked him as Desmond Wolfe in TNA. I wish they did more with him.
They didn't like this Desmond Wolfe in TNA, but
yeah, clearly. I remember when he came out it was the first show I ordered it on pay-per-view. They made a big deal out of, it's Hulk Hogan's first TNA pay-per-view is Genesis 2010. And I ordered that damn thing, unfortunately. And Desmond Wolfe came out, and they gave him tights, like ugly ass tights, and he came out in like a gray trench coat. And I'm like, what the did they do to Nigel McGuinness?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't he have like spiked hair before he got to the TNA?
I can't remember if he shaved it in TNA or right before TNA.
When he showed up, he was completely bald. Yeah.
Right. That's why I didn't recognize him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. It's like you just thought it was some new British guy. I'm like, he's going to be with Magnus and Doug Williams.
Well, when he first showed up, right. Well, when he first showed up, he went after Kurt Angle like right away in backstage segments, and I'm like, who's the little dude who kind of looks like Kurt? And at the time, they also had like Frank Trigg hanging around.
Eric Angle.
Yeah. I'm like, so there's Kurt Angle, Frank Trigg, who looks like Kurt Angle, and then the British Kurt Angle. Like, what's going on here? And then I didn't know who the F he was until he didn't get new gear right away. He was still wearing his Nigel McGuinness stuff. And when he came out wearing that, I was like, oh, that's Nigel McGuinness. Okay. I'm like, wow, he looks different bald. Like, what the hell?
Going off of what I've heard Cornette say, I'm going to say McGuinness took Tyler Black's spot. So this might have been him.
Yeah.
He had the contract, and Cornette ripped it up and told, "Don't you dare go to that place."
Yeah, right. Well, wouldn't you know who won the pony on this one? Poor Nigel, man. Poor freaking Nigel. That sucks. And he deserves, man. And he even talks about it on the show that he came up in the Cincinnati area. Everybody that I used to know in the indie scene around here, they all used to work with him and they knew him. Nobody ever has a bad word to say about Nigel McGuinness. He's a genuinely good dude. I met him one time. He autographed I had a Ring of Honor show ticket. It was the only thing I had, and he autographed it for me. It was awesome. And he's deceptive. I realize I'm a short guy, but he's deceptively tall too. He towered over me. I think he's taller than you, or he might be at least your height.
Okay, because you're talking about a good memory, I'm gonna leave that obvious joke alone.
I already said I know I'm short, but he's way taller. Either way, the ring fills up with people cheering for Nigel's win. Bryan Danielson gets in to talk crap to Nigel and pie face.
Because, if any match needs an afterbirth, it's this one.
Yeah, I think they were kind of celebrating that the big Japanese monster was finally defeated by the British guy. Yay. But Austin Aries and a few others step in to shove Danielson back and force him to leave. Well, Danielson is the American Dragon, so he's not going to like the British dude, all right? That's just logical. But
that's how I see it.
Takeshi Morishima takes the ROH title and hands it to Nigel himself. The crowd chants, "Thank you, Shima." Austin Aries now holds Nigel's hand up as the show ends. And that takes us to our final break.
I was waiting for Austin to hit him, actually.
Yeah, right. I was like, is this going to turn? By the way, this is weird seeing Austin Aries with long hair.
Yeah, really.
It's like, man, this is chibi Austin Aries right here. This is before he ever showed up in TNA. Well, I think he'd showed up in TNA a couple of times before this, but it was before
they kind of had that unofficial working relationship.
Yeah. And then he was gone for a while, and I think he's back here.
Because actually, I think about it, him and Roderick had appeared there before.
Yes. Roderick Strong was kind of chubby there for a while. And you remember they put him in tights?
I do.
It was the most generic effing tights of all time. He shaved his head, and he was chubby, and he had these tights on that said "strong" down the leg. And I'm like, yeah, that'll get you over. But anyway, we're going to take our final break. On the other end of this, it's final ratings time.
Follow the Main Event Marks on Twitter and Instagram at @main_event_marks and on Facebook at facebook.com/main event marks pod.
Hey gang, it's Commissioner Cooper of TSS Fantasy. We are the fantasy show of the people. Expert fantasy advice, free contests, leading expert medical and legal analysis, and most importantly, you. Interact with us on all social media platforms or check us out at tssfantasy.com. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and many more. Check out the fun today and be a part of the most interactive fantasy show around. TSS Fantasy, the fantasy show of the people.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan McCarthy, and I'm the host of the No Credentials Required podcast. Start your work week with the Monday Drop-In, where I talk about the sports beat in the Capital District, also known as the Mighty 518, as well as Metro New York sports from an upstate point of view. I also give a life lesson from a weekly sports story, so you might learn something from that. I also have a midweek podcast where I interview different sports personalities and talk about a wide array of topics. Take a listen and subscribe on your preferred podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Also check out our social media channels on Twitter and Instagram, BellyUpNCR, and Facebook.com/BellyUpSportsNCR. We're a part of the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in association with Godzilla Media. No credentials required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Main Event Marks are available wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube at youtube.com/C/Main Event Marks podcast. Now, back to the show.
And we're back. Final ratings, yeah. The only ones I could dig up besides my own were from 411 Mania, who gave this a 6 out of 10. Because of the last 3 matches, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Probably D minus somewhere in there. What say you?
I would have said probably a D minus until the last 3 matches, so I bumped it up to a C plus.
I will say this: if people fast forward to or skip whatever to the last 3 matches, I'm saying fast forward like people know what the hell that is nowadays.
Oh, well, you take the mouse thing and you scroll a little dot over.
Yeah, that's called scrubbing. Yeah, so yeah, they completely changed the name of it from when we were Utes. Because people don't know what the hell.
Utes. What's a Ute? That's more my cousin Vinny, actually.
Exactly. People don't know what "be kind" or "wine" means nowadays, but
I love that movie. That's what they'll say.
Yeah, right. But if you skip ahead to the last 3 matches on the card, you will be pleasantly surprised. A good match or a good show. Some good stuff. You got like I said, Strong and Aries, Briscoes and Briscoes and No Remorse Core, and then Morishima and Nigel McGuinness. So there you go. Those are honestly my entire reason for watching the show is especially that last match. I just wanted to see.
I had no knowledge of this going in at all, and I was starting to get pissed that you made this until those last 3 matches.
I knew the last 3 were going to pick it up. I don't know, old school Ring of Honor. You couldn't always count on the first half of the show. I'll say that. But either way, that does it for that one. But we got one more show to wrap up the month, man, and it is a doozy. On Wednesday, October 25th, we're bringing you...
Have you watched it yet?
I have not watched it back yet, no.
Well, it's not as bad as you think, but it's not as great as I thought it could be. I don't know if that's a ring endorsement, but...
Yeah. Well, strap in, everybody. October 25th, right before Halloween, we're bringing you WCW Halloween Havoc 1998 from WCW's most profitable year ever. Believe it or not.
You wouldn't know it from this show and the way what goes on. Although you won't see what goes on, but we'll have to tell you, because if you watch it on Peacock, you have no idea.
Right. Well, and the thing with this is they're making money hand over fist, but behind the scenes, the wheels are falling off. There's a lot of stuff going on where
Bishop, they may have already fallen off. But...
Yeah, because if you think about this one, man, like in the year 19...
I've heard it multiple times say August 98 is when he knew it was over. When they were at their hottest.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
The booking was all over the damn place. He got Kevin Nash to help him book, which was just phenomenal. And then...
And we love Nash, by the way.
Right, but he should stay far away from the book. I'll just say that. And then past that, you had...
Can you imagine like Mark Hamill writing Star Wars? Is that something we would want?
Probably not. But there were the Turner acquisitions or the merger or whatever with them, and it was who the hell was it at this? Was it AOL at this point that they were merging with? Okay,
yeah,
it was the AOL Time Warner merger going on at this time. Like Time Warner didn't really want WCW around. AOL really didn't want WCW around. They didn't care how much money it was making. They wanted it dead and buried.
Well, a few years later, nobody wanted AOL around, so there you go.
Yeah, right.
You
think about the evolution, like the stupid evolution of that company. Like, oh, this wrestling company is making a lot of money, is really popular, and pulling in ad revenue and all this stuff. But we hate wrestling, so let's just murder it. By the way, let's just ruin everything. Because you look at nowadays...
So, like, what's the logic there? They can make all that money that they're going to be losing back somewhere?
I guess so. They think, we're going to be more respectable if we get rid of WCW. Like, yeah, because it's the wrestling that's holding your company back. Fast forward to 2023, Warner Brothers is running in the red. Because somehow this all gets back to
I might even argue it's the depths of hell red, but...
Yeah, it's not doing well, which is why they're throwing out things like they're going to reboot Harry Potter with like a full 10-year television series or streaming series, whatever they have.
They one season.
That's one of their properties that's still extremely hot. So
don't ruin it.
they might
they have a talent to do this stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, they might pull in the Potterheads for a while there and get some.
You could have just said Potheads.
Good God. And then
you're no fun.
The rumor is that they want to do a quote unquote cinematic universe out of the Lord of the Rings stuff. And dude, I'm so over cinematic universes. I don't give a shit. Just make a good movie. Like you don't need to set it up for a universe.
This is the same company, by the way, that took Henry Cavill, who God put on his plan to be Superman, said no thanks.
Yeah.
I have no faith.
Hey, Netflix also pissed him off enough where he literally said, I don't want my dream role anymore. Bye. So, people don't know what I'm talking about. The Witcher. He was literally the only big name, the only name period on that entire show. And he literally said, it's my dream role. The only way I'll leave this show is if they screw with the source material too much. Well, he's gone. And Amazon said, hey, we'll give you a boatload of money and you can do whatever you want. So that's why he's going to do that Warhammer 40K or whatever the hell.
Can he just go be Captain Britain, please?
Yeah, right. Well, he's going to...
Another role he's made for, so no.
Yeah. We'll have to see... We'll have to see how well that Warhammer series does, because he's a huge nerd for it, and Amazon's... It's like a...
Is that a video game?
There are video games for it, but it's like a strategy-based...
So that's what it is? Based off that?
No, it's like a strategy-based, like... It's almost like Dungeons and Dragons, but it's like...
No, I know what the game is. I'm saying, is this show based on the game?
No, the show's based on just like lore of the board game. So that, oddly enough, tying this back into wrestling, Shayna Baszler's outfit, I never would have known because I don't pay attention to Warhammer. Shayna Baszler's outfits throughout her feud with Ronda have all been representative of stuff from Warhammer.
Oh God, yeah, she's a huge nerd for that.
I had no clue because people pointed out when she got back with Ronda, the outfit that she was wearing symbolized something from the game, where it was like joining forces, whatever. And then when she turned on Ronda, she was wearing attire that symbolized like somebody, like some queen stabbed somebody in the back or whatever. So they're like, she's literally giving us hints to what she's going to do in her attire for that night. Like, yeah, I'm not that big of a nerd. I don't know. Like, good for her, I guess. Is she on up, down, down? Because that seems right up her alley.
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, yeah, I figured as much. But all right, that does it for this. We're wrapping up October this Wednesday. Thank you for joining me today, Greg.
Yeah, half of me says screw you, the other half says, yeah, it was great.
Hey, half of it. We've done shows that were literally one-match shows. This was a 3-match show, so...
We've also done no-match shows, so who's that?
Well, that's true, or...
That is correct.
Get one more in before the end. But thank you all for listening, and we hope you tune in next week. Thank you all, by the way, to the new subscribers out there. We know that there's a handful of you out there, and we appreciate it.
Numbers, too.
Oh, yeah. We appreciate all of you tuning in. Definitely tell your friends and family, and your family's friends, and your friends' family. And if we have new...
We're not quite your grandma's favorite everything, but...
No, but close. Whatever that means. Inside joke again. But if any of you out there are also listening, like you started listening to the show after Detroit, seeing something from there, let us know that as well. We appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you all this Wednesday with WCW Halloween Havoc 1998.
Oh, it is some Havoc.